The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you here on this Thursday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
17 News is your local election headquarters. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and his Democratic challenger Marisa Wood coming face to face in an hour-long discussion. The candidates for California's 20th Congressional District squared off over the most hot-button issues this November, with no shortage of personal jabs. 17's political reporter Maddie Gannon has a recap.
This is a significant election for both McCarthy and Wood. McCarthy is arguably the closest he's ever been to the job he's long coveted, Speaker of the House. For Wood, she's taking her first step into politics, hoping to take down a political powerhouse. Less than 2 weeks before November's midterm election, Republican Kevin McCarthy and Democrat Marisa Wood sparring it out and getting personal on the debate stage.
I say be the one to stand up to the bully. Well, now I'm being called to do just that.
The real challenge here is I've never faced somebody this liberal before in this campaign.
I have a question. I have a rebuttal. I'm sorry. But were you referring to me when you said you've never had a Was that a reference to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Again, you don't know anything about my politics.
The pair clashing over some of the biggest partisan hot-button issues, like immigration.
Number one, top priority, keep making sure that the criminals do not come across. But we cannot stop those, the immigrants that are coming here to work, that are coming here for asylum.
I don't think she understands the border. She's not going to secure it. She's just people who come in asylum. You had more than 3 million people just in the last year. You've got fentanyl, the number one killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45.
But politics, specifically the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol, taking center stage.
What people see in you is that you were standing on the floor and you said you held him responsible, and then you go and then you kiss the ring. And
Wood, referencing McCarthy visiting former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago in late January 2021, after McCarthy said Trump bore some responsibility for January 6th on the House floor a week after the attack.
I was invited to go to Mar-a-Lago to see the president by the president. I was already in Palm Beach, so I stopped by to see him. He asked to take a photo. I don't understand. I just was in the Oval Office a couple weeks ago with President Biden.
McCarthy not answering whether he believes the 2020 election was stolen.
Look, there's a lot of questions out there. Joe Biden is our elected president, and because of that, and one-party rule, we now have the highest inflation we've watched in 41 years.
But
we have a gas price.
Did you ever once believe the election was stolen?
When I look at the election, I think people had questions. They have a right to question, but Joe Biden was elected our president.
A lively debate with just days to go until November 8th. Maddie Gannon, 17 News.
And if you would like to learn more about the candidates running for local and state office, you can head to our website, kget.com, and click on the local election headquarters banner.
Bakersfield has lost one of its business giants. David H. Erner, son of founder of Erner's Appliances, has passed away at the age of 92. David Erner's tenure with the family business spanned 4 generations, starting with his father, David E. Erner, who opened the doors in 1919. And it continued with his stepson, Steve Illingsworth, the current president. Erner passed away peacefully in his sleep sometime Friday night or Saturday morning. The 1948 graduate of Bakersfield High School worked for Erner's for 70 years, serving as its president from 1980 to 2019. He was active in the East Bakersfield Kiwanis Club and was a founding member of the Bakersfield Sister City Project with Wakayama, Japan. Meanwhile, despite growing competition from chain stores, Erner's continues to grow, having added a 4th location, a mattress store, in July of this year. Services for David H. Erner will be held at 10 a.m. Saturday, November 12th at Hillcrest Memorial Cemetery. The event will be open to the public.
Earlier this week, we told you about the alarming report highlighting a vast majority of students here in Kern County below the state standards. Coronavirus is likely the culprit. 17's Michaela Armstrong has a look at how our local educators are trying to get kids back up to speed.
After the pandemic forced students out of the classroom for nearly 2 years, Kern County schools are experiencing the aftermath now that they have returned. Students are dealing with learning loss, according to Panama Buena Vista Director of Communications and Family Engagement, Kelsey Brackett.
As we navigate through learning loss in a post-pandemic world, we know that education is more important than ever for our students.
In Kern County, only 37.9% of students met or exceeded English language arts/literacy standards, a drop from 43.5% in 2019. And only 21.3% met or exceeded standards in math, a drop from 28.8% in 2019. In response to these numbers, Kern County Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Barlow wrote in a statement that the pandemic has been extremely challenging on so many levels, and it was anticipated there would be a direct correlation to academic progress. Heather Richter of the county office says the decline represents a combination of student needs.
It's really important that we recognize the impact that it had in totality on our educational system. So being able to look at this and say, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board and figure out where we are now and make sure that we not only address the academic needs that our students have, but also the social emotional needs are addressed as well.
To help, Richter suggests for parents to work together with schools and start with the basics.
Spending time with our kids is always a great value. Reading with our kids, getting back to the basics, spending time with them, asking what they're doing in their classroom to be able to support the academic instruction that's happening during the day in your home as well.
Kern County has officially surpassed Fresno as California's top agricultural producer. Our neighbors to the north were the top producers in 2020, but fell by 2 spots last year. Kern County managed to edge out Fresno for the #1 spot in 2021, followed by Tulare County in second. Grapes remained Kern County's #1 crop in 2021, bringing in $1.87 billion to the local economy. In all, Kern growers produced $8.34 billion in agricultural products, everything from artichokes to kale to turnips. You can see the full crop report by going to our website, kget.com.
Governor Gavin Newsom is not letting up his attacks on oil companies. He says they're taking an advantage, bringing in massive profits while jacking up the price at the pump. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace gives us a look at who the governor is going after now and why some argue his policies will only lead to even higher prices.
This time the governor is going after one specific company as he doubles down on his message that big oil is to blame for the pain at the pump.
These companies are ripping you off and ripping us off.
Governor Gavin Newsom not mincing words at the gubernatorial debate Sunday as he spoke directly about oil companies.
They have record profits.
Fast forward to today, Newsom is doubling down on his message, going after Valero, putting out this tweet indicating Valero's profits increased by 500% over the last year while prices at the pump went up. Between July and September of this year, Valero saw a net income of $2.82 billion, which is $463 million more than they made during this same time period last year. It's for that reason, Newsom says, he wants to implement a windfall profits tax on oil companies, or as he calls it,
the price gouging penalty to address this abuse. Period, full stop.
But his opponent, Republican Senator Brian Dahle, says the best way forward is to repeal the state's gas tax of 54 cents per gallon.
People are fleeing California because they can't afford to live here. So if you lower that gas tax across the board, it lowers your food, not only the gas you put in your tank. So those are the policies we put forth.
Bakersfield Assemblymember Vince Fong has long echoed that sentiment. He's calling on Newsom to approve new drilling inside the state, something Fong argues will bring prices down.
We need to increase energy supplies. We need to increase gasoline and natural gas supplies that Californians need. The governor is trying to deflect from the consequences of his poor energy policies, and Californians are seeing through that.
And we did reach out to Valero for their side to all of this, but did not hear back as of news time. Reporting here outside the California State Capitol, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
There are just now 12 days until the midterm elections, and in a significant race for the 20th congressional district seat, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and his Democratic challenger Marisa Wood faced off in our studios last night. The pair clashing over some of the biggest partisan hot-button issues like immigration.
#1 top priority, keep making sure that the criminals do not come across. But we cannot stop those the immigrants that are coming here to work, that are coming here for asylum.
I don't think she understands the border. She's not going to secure it. She's just people who come in asylum. You had more than 3 million people just in the last year. You've got fentanyl, the number one killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45.
This is an important race that could help determine the balance of power in the House of Representatives. If Republicans take control, that would put McCarthy in the running for a job he's long coveted, Speaker of the House. Wood, a teacher, is taking her first step into politics, hoping to take down a political powerhouse. We have much more on the debate coming up this morning at 6.
A local family is considering legal action this morning against the Kern High School district after a video of a student being bullied went viral. 17's Karen Mariquin has more.
The family of a 16-year-old special needs student from Arvin High is considering legal action against the Kern High School district. This comes after a video was uploaded to social media showing the student crying while others laugh and cut his hair.
And they're digging into his scalp, and they're butchering his hair, and they're digging into it, and it hurts.
In the video, you can also see someone who appears to be a security guard witnessing everything. According to Rodriguez, the security guard had an obligation to ensure the student's safety, but did the exact opposite.
Instead of protecting, instead of stopping it, he's joining along with the laughter.
Attorney Denai Gonzalez, who is also representing the student's family, says Arvin High School didn't make the student's mother aware of the incident. She had to find out through social media.
Her sister contacted her, said, something happened to your son, you have to see this video. And she immediately went down to the school. When she got to the school, they weren't really giving her answers. And if anything, they were trying to make it seem as though it was the boy's fault.
As a result, the family is planning to allege that the school district violated the law by not protecting the students at school, according to the attorneys.
We're hoping to hold the school district accountable, which in turn will lead to them not dropping the ball and doing what they're supposed to do, not ignoring the obvious that's happening in front of them.
17's Karen Mariquin reporting. We reached out to the Kern High School District in regards to the disciplinary actions that they plan to take against the students involved, but they told us that they are unable to comment as student records are confidential under FERPA.
5:35 now. The investigation into a baby's death continues this morning. As we told you yesterday, the Kern County Sheriff's Office arrested 33-year-old Robert Wayne Coberly on Saturday. He was initially being held on suspicion of child endangerment under circumstances likely to produce harm or death, as well as possible drug possession. But we learned yesterday those charges have not been filed, as the district attorney's office sent the case back to the sheriff's office for further investigation. The night of the incident, the sheriff's office told 17 News the child's death may be from natural causes.
And a new report by a local law firm, Chain Cones Clark, reveals the most dangerous intersections in the city of Bakersfield. According to the analysis, Ming Avenue at New Stein Road in southwest Bakersfield has seen at least 40 crashes since 2011, the most out of any intersection. The second most dangerous was Gosford Road at Ming with 37 crashes, followed by Real Road at Wilson Road, which totaled 35. To see a full list, you can head to our website, kget.com.
A new climate report has found that the Earth has officially reached a so-called Code Red climate emergency. Researchers at Oregon State University analyzed 35 planetary vital signs that are used to track climate change. They found that 16 of those signs are at record extremes.
So that includes extreme heat events and tree cover loss because of wildfires. They also found that atmospheric carbon dioxide levels are at the highest on record. To avoid causing more damage to the planet, researchers say we need to eliminate most fossil fuel emissions and support socially just climate actions.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.